Hi, my name is Melissa King, and I am taking you on a journey to learn about podcasting in the ELA Classroom for grades 9 through 12. Podcasting in the 9 through 12 grade ELA Classroom. I have experience in K through 8 education, and I am an educational consultant, Google trainer, and innovator with Designed Learning to be with you today. So some things that I would begin with as a teacher to introduce students to podcasting is just teaching using podcasts. There are some excellent things to explore. And as students are listening to podcasts, you can have them doing things like sketch notes and Socratic seminars. I left some examples here. So I gave you examples and some of the descriptions of some of these that would be more appropriate for the 9 through 12 level. So any of those, you can click on the blue links when you open up the slideshow, and they'll take you to those podcasting websites. So some of the Common Core state standards topics that would tie nicely with podcasting would be some of these that I listed here. So holding something like a debate or having an in-depth analytical discussion and recording that discussion, that when they're thinking critically and answering questions that they have researched and based their information on, based their opinions on, would be something that you could capture within a podcast. Basically, there are 4 things that we're going to go over quickly today, and that is, first of all, research for students. So they're going to have a standard-based essential question that they're researching, and they're going to create a plan. Then they will use a format of recording their episode, and then they will have feedback and revision and self-reflection. So step 1 is the research, and many of us do this in our classroom already. So something like an outline that you already have, using internet sources, books, and whatever articles like Google Scholar that you want to use, so that way students have the information that they need. And you can give them a printed out outline for this part. And this is before the podcasting to build some depth to the information that they're going to be using. Once you are ready to have students plan the podcast, there are a whole bunch of different programs you could use. There's really no right way to do this. So using a Jamboard to collaborate, if you're not familiar, Jamboard is within the Google Apps and the Waffle. You can also use Sticky Note Google Slides template, and that is right here for you. And you can create your own copy by going to File, Make a Copy. And this is set up, and it looks similar to the Jamboard idea with some sticky notes, and they can start planning with this route. Also, something really cool created by Nate Ridgway is you can make a copy of a planning of the order of your podcast. So often podcasts will have something like intro music. So what the student will do is pull over here, and they'll put, this is where our intro music is going. Then we're going to have an introduction, some dialogue, and they will be planning the steps along how they want their podcast to go. In this box, they can also type some notes of things that they want to remember to talk about, and they can plan each episode this way. Nate even left a video over here, and so this drag and drop planning key is on a Google Drawing, so it's very easily accessible for students to use. So then they are going to go into recording, and I highly advise that you keep it simple. Begin with a class podcast, perhaps. So not only listening to, but creating a class podcast. Here's an example of one that was done by another teacher. And so they had some recordings of class happenings where students were in small groups and they were recording episodes. So as the class, they were building this in the beginning of the year. So they were doing interviews and things like that, and just hosting this on a Google slide to keep it simple. Microphones will give you a better quality of voice, and just going somewhere like Walmart or Target, they have microphones, Amazon, just that plug into your computer. You don't have to feel like you need one of those fancy, expensive microphones. Yes, that gives them more of a professional feel, but it's not necessary. If you have any interest in any of these will all work very well for podcasting. I'm going to go over Anchor today because it is for 13 and up, which meets the requirement for most of our 9 to 12 students. There is, of course, one voice recorder. It's only online based. I'm going to click on it. All it is it's going to record. It's a recorder. You simply click, it records you, you stop, and you can save it. You can add it to the drive, and it is so simple. The only downfall is that you cannot edit on this. It's just simply a voice recording, but if they're ready to go, then this is one simple way to record. So this is Anchor, and Anchor has the ability for 13-year-olds to join with parent permission. And so you could reach out to parents for that and have students recording. It is an 18-year-old requirement without parent permission. They are COPA compliant. So what you do is you set up your podcast station, you give it a name, and if I click on this editing pencil, you're going to see the name, the description. I uploaded my own art that I created. And you can choose your categories, and there's a whole bunch of settings in here. This is just for your podcast channel. So I'm going to click on save, and I want to create a new episode. So if I go over to new episode, create an episode, you'll see it also says quick upload. And so if I record somewhere else, I can quickly upload. What I love about Anchor is that as you build, you just click and drag things from your library area over here to build your episode. You can record your voice right in here. So if I hit start recording now, it's recording my voice. When I stop the recording, it will save in the library, and you'll see I have all of these that I've used before. So if I have the same introduction in every episode that I would like to use, where I introduce myself and my podcast, I can call it intro and I can continue to reuse it. You can connect Spotify Music, and you can also go to down here where it says transition, and there's a lot of sound effects. So let's say I want that to be my intro music. So I'm going to drag that and drop it. Then I'm going to go get the recording that I just recorded from the library, and I'm going to drop that over here. So I'm just building the episode. And if I get something in the wrong place, I just drag and drop to build my episode. I go down here and click on preview the episode, and it will play my episode. It tells me how long my episode is. Then I will just save it. They have to where you can not only name it and put your description, you can schedule your publish date. So if you do not want it published now, you can pick a prior date and time. Also, there are areas down here where you can keep it organized with podcast season numbers and episode numbers, and you can select if it's a full, a trailer, or a bonus. But when you click on Publish Now, it will give you the ability to send your episode to all sorts of different platforms. Other options are to download your episodes either in Voice Recorder or here and have them build a Google site where they can house all of their episodes and share that way. Once the recording part is done, I would have students listen to each other's episodes and hold a time of peer review. So then that would lead into self-reflection and Google Forms surveys. And I left you with some samples of rubrics. If you click on sample 1, 2, 3, or 4, you will see that there are rubrics you can pull from, you can use them, or you can use them to create your own. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that you learned something that you can take back to your classroom so that students can effectively be innovative and make an impact in their community.